opportunity here, and that is to do actually a recap of our Camino experience. It's now, we're talking in the car, we've gone a month ago, we were on our way between Santiago and Murcia, and 2 months ago we were drinking from the wine fountain in Arachi. So now's a good time to maybe talk a little bit about what it's been like to be back home. So some of the issues I wanted to talk about is just what are your impressions? What do you miss? Did you have any big revelations? Did you discover any lessons along the way? What are you not missing? Just how are you doing?
Good. I miss being on the trail. It was nice to just have no other worries or thoughts. It's just go out and experience the day, live the day, and not have any other thoughts. And come back, it's kind of overwhelming, sensory overload, noise.
Have you taken some of that, live the day, and incorporated that into your everyday life? Or is that just something that was out there on the way and it's not back in your normal life?
I long to be back on the trail. It feels good when I get out. But I think about what it was like on the trail a lot, and I think one of the things when I came back, when you saw the closet full of clothes, it's like I don't need all this stuff, and I want to live simpler. So as I look around, of course, I want to go back and buy more hiking gear and camping clothes. But you go to REI and I want to buy more. But
yeah, we just hit REI really pretty big hit the other night. But we were buying clothes to replace clothes we've worn out.
Yeah, and shoes.
Mention that.
There is that. The whole locomotion thing.
One of my big takeaways, two things. One, I found that I just really like being out in fresh air and out in the mountain. It feels good when I'm out, not closed in. But I think the one thing I thought about a lot was just how grateful I am for everything, for health and the ability to do this, and family and friends, and kind of a reflection on. I find myself just being grateful for all the stuff that we have and can do, and mostly the friends that we have. So.
Yeah, I really miss the simplicity of it. It really does. I haven't, not that I was ever a big shopper, but I even less so go places I just feel like it's too much. There's too many things. It's been interesting. You can really enjoy and realize it's really what's important is.
And we got back right on the threshold of the Christmas shopping season, so that was kind of weird, right?
Amplifies it, yeah. So, but the peace of being out there, being outside all the time. Peacefulness of having, it was a nice combination of socializing with, you guys and other people on the trail, but then having stretches of time where you just, sometimes nothing much going on, just meditating, just sort of meditative thought.
Yeah. That walking
not having,
meditation.
Lots of things on your mind. That was really nice.
What about you?
I miss the simplicity and the structure. Right? You get up in the morning, you know you're going to walk, and you can walk by yourself, you can walk as a group, but at the end of the day, you're going to end up someplace that's clean, comfortable, dry, and you're going to start it all over again the next day. And that simplicity and that structure is...
And purpose.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
You had a goal each day. It was nice to know where you're going to...
Yeah.
This is what you're going to accomplish that day.
That you had a sangria waiting for you.
That's right. Or a cerveza.
Yeah.
But,
actually, that sense of accomplishment, too, is something you feel like... it was an accomplishment, but it gives you confidence that other things, other hikes, or things you might want to do, it's okay. To do that.
It might take 2 weeks to condition, but it's within my power.
The other thing is you had to focus every day.
every single day.
So you had a goal and an objective, and now at home it's easy to get just kind of lost in, I've got to do laundry, I've got to do this, or we should go to the store, or put away. It's easy to fritter away time, whereas this, you had something you had to do every day, and you went and did it, and that was your sole focus. So you didn't have distractions on internet or TV or a telephone call or whatever.
Which gave us space to observe little things, whether it was internal or in the world around us. Unfortunately, some of those little things ended up being like a pebble in your shoe, or a shin splint, or
Blister.
or that nerve pain right about there.
Yeah.
But
I
it
think
was
the-
good to have that time to observe things.
Yeah. I think the other thing that struck me was I don't think there are two more compatible people to share that kind of time and space with, because you think about it, there were days where we were sharing one room, one bathroom, 4 beds. There were other days where we had private rooms and private bathrooms.
Yeah.
But whatever the circumstance we found ourselves in, we just, as a group of 4, we just adapted to it. And I can't think of 2 people that would be more
Us too. I mean, it was
compatible in
very
doing that.
easy.
People don't believe that we did not have a crossword the whole time.
No.
And we might have had a crossword, but we didn't have a crossword.
You guys had a crossword?
Yeah, that was crossword.
Were there puzzles? I didn't see any puzzles.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
how about you?
Well, we talked about this earlier. My big lesson was an appreciation for my parents. Being out in Galicia and seeing the little farms, that just brought it home. And I know now how hard they work to give us so much. And honestly, without them, I wouldn't have been on the team.
You think about the gifts they gave you, but not just the growing up, but also the appreciation to be able to enjoy something.
The gift
like
of
that.
walking was a big thing in our family. So that alone was a big gift. But yeah, seeing those little farms and seeing how people were just working so hard to make a living and to just take care of the farm was just a good reminder of how hard they worked.
The other thing that I really miss was the people that we met, and just how on the one hand, it's easy to become cynical and you see a lot of negativity, or on the trail, everybody was so open and so giving. And it's not because they had to or because it was a service. It was all the people that we met were just so incredibly.
We had like 2 crabby waitresses, and the other, 300 people that we encountered that were helping us along our way, whether we knew them or not. They were all happy just to help us on our way. And we saw a lot of waitresses that were juggling, taking care of 9 people at one time with grace and good humor.
I think not having the distractions of so many other things. I mean, phones, the TVs in the restaurant. I mean, you appreciate people because you're having the time to look at them and talk to them.
And the
interact with
pilgrims we
them.
met were so earnest,
Yeah.
for the most part.
I think it was so amazing to be on a path that for centuries people have walked with their hopes, their fears, their wishes, and it's pretty amazing. I think when we got to the end in Santiago, I didn't realize I feel that emotional about it, but it was really pretty overwhelming to feel that.
One mistake I made was to not read the guidebook every night and read about the places we were walking. But once I got home, I was rereading. I read the whole book, and it was like, oh, I didn't even see the ruins of that monastery. I wish I had paid more attention to that. And so next time when I do this, I'm going to be more mindful of the history of what I'm walking through and take time to appreciate some of the buildings and some of the places. Because now I'm like, oh, was that the chapel with the Madonna, or was that the chapel with
Actually, we were talking about this when we finished. Initially, it wasn't. We talked to people who had done it multiple times. Like, I don't know if there's so many other things, places to walk. I didn't think I would, but
we even said that on the way.
yeah,
We're like, why would you do it
as
again?
time has gone by, I can see why people go back, and it would partly be. I mean, it partly draw things we just talked about that we were appreciating about it, but also to slow down and be able to. It was so sensory overload, or there's so much history and so many things
Right.
everywhere. Go back, you could focus a little bit more on some of those other things.
If you could spend one night in one special place that we didn't go to, what place would that be?
The nunnery, the
San Anton,
San Anton,
The-
that'd be one.
Yeah.
The
St. Nicholas, where they wash the feet of the
Yeah.
pilgrims.
Places, yeah, where
the-
The monastery at Samos.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
monastery.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really would have liked to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of those were donativo places,
Right.
small, and but that also is the true heart or spirit of what the Camino is, and the people that stayed there raved
Right.
about the experience. But yeah, just the beauty of some of those places, and you could feel the spirituality, that feeling of San Antonio.
The whole trail is really, I mean, you look at whether it's a religious spirituality or not so much, specific to a particular religion, you really feel that along the way. I mean, the churches, you just know that there's people been there, but like I said, their prayers, and their hopes,
For centuries.
for centuries, yeah,
Millennia.
yeah.
That's such an amazing concept to think about.
Yeah, in other parts of the world, when you see a worn stone, it's been worn by wind or water, but on the way, those stones are worn by feet,
Yeah.
worn smooth by feet.
And in our country, you think if something's old, maybe it's 200 years old. Really old, maybe 250 years, but people have been walking that for over 1,000 years. Some of those churches from the 12th century, how they could build those in that time frame, and that they're still here and survived war, earthquakes, and fire. That's amazing. But how they even were able to build it at that time frame.
Or some stunning places we saw.
I think you both mentioned it too. At the time, I was kind of like, yeah, we did this, and there's so many other places, but it's really funny to hear everybody saying, next time.
I'd do it again.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling that way at the very end, because I was feeling there's just other,
Plenty of
it was
other
great.
places to
There's
go.
a lot of other
Yeah.
great places.
But if you did it again, it would be a different experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
If there's no way it would be the same experience.
Yeah.
All right, so it's agreed.
Yeah.
All true.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.